I guess just kind of what have you seen from the guys, and you feel like you got what you need there?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I got a veteran group, a lot of guys in the room with, real playing experience. So, that's just awesome. That allows it to be more than just a lineman assigned and, really start to talk about, hey, different advantages in the call. Like, hey, we can start to think about, maybe what the offense is doing. What does this formation tell me? But, when you got a veteran group like that, then, it's just, young guys learning, Corey and Brock, Prince, it's just with a veteran group like that, you can move past a lineman assignment and just really talk about, like, hey, like, what should we be thinking here? Let's look at our keys. Hey, what does the formation tell me? What's my advantages in this call? So that's one of the things that I've been enjoying. It's really helping me grow as a coach, you know what I'm saying? Because these guys can look at the install and see a line of sign on their own, like I send them the install and they pretty much know it, but I feel like the next step for me as a coach is to put them in a position to make plays. So that's what I like about this veteran group.
Some of those veterans, how we've got Garland back here.
Mm-hmm.
How is he better this year? How is he different? And what does he add to that group?
Yeah, I just think he's playing the best ball of his life. I just think it's just one of those things where he know the clock is up. This is it. His eligibility is over. So I just think that's just lit a fire up under him. The way he just playing the best ball of his life. I think, one of the biggest challenges from last year that I challenged him was just pass rush, and I feel like this spring is really flourishing. Really flourishing. I mean, I think his weight probably more than he's ever weighed. So I think that's something good. I think also with just Tony and Kajo again, guys that have been in the fire, that have played, know what it's like to be out there against a tackle who's been starting his whole career. Know what it's like. Know the possibility if I ain't locked in on my stuff, I could get blown off the ball 5-10 yards. So I feel like just that understanding like this college football game ain't sweet. It just brings a different intensity every day. I feel like, compared to a guy who ain't really been in that fire, who don't really know what it's like when it's driving and it's a 9-10 play drive. So I feel like I just appreciate that about the group, just the sense of urgency, the intensity, and then just like taking everything serious, So.
Who did you say other than Tony?
Kajo.
Oh,
yeah, Kajo. Yeah, Kajo. Yeah, Kala Jordan. My bad. Yeah.
And I understand y'all are using some two jack.
Oh yeah. That's
got to excite you, just having maybe more playmakers out there.
Most definitely. Yep. I mean, just we call it, just our peso package. But yeah, it just allows us to be super versatile. In our base package, we do things with one outside back on the field, but yeah, in our peso package, you don't know who's the rusher, who's the dropper. It just allows us to be super versatile, and I mean, that's a Coach Aranda like just specialty. So it's been that way since we was at LSU. So definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate having two guys on the field,
right.
And the guys appreciate it. I mean, it would suck having 7 guys, 6 scholarship guys with only 1 on the field all the time. Like that sucks. So.
You mentioned Coach Aranda. I mean, obviously you've coached with him for a while now. What's that like, having him maybe more involved, more, kind of having his hand in there?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's just requiring all of us to coach better. I mean, it's just requiring all of us to coach better. Just the level of detail. I mean, just having to talk about how you teaching things, whether it be drills or how we putting in calls, in front of the staff. I definitely think that has brought like just a level of, just accountability, of be on it. Like, it ain't no off the top of the head. Like, nah, you got to have it written down. You got to be ready to present it. So I think that's just kind of how he is with everything. I mean, if you step foot in our defensive staff, it's not a wall in there that's not covered. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how it is. That's how he's always been. So it's definitely just an honor of mine to be able to, just kind of work so closely with him and work under him, this year and this spring ball. So it's definitely something that I don't take lightly, something that I'm not, gonna take for granted or look at it's time to take care of business. So
with the new offense, I guess, how has that helped your guys attack and also read the plays?
Well, first off, I would say it definitely caused us to, just be in space more than we was used to. So that was definitely a big shocker, and just learning how to kind of really coach the eye progression and like, hey, like we in a place we ain't used to being in out here in this space with these wide splits. So that was definitely just the first thing, you know, just having to, you know, lean on people like, hey, like, you know, this is a different world. But then it's also just helped us also with just preparing for what we're going to see when we get to the season. You know, just, you know, spread out, just some of the tempo stuff. Yeah, it's just preparing us for the season more than we would if we was, you know, just kind of more pro style, you know. This spread is, you know, kind of what we're going to see week after week after week with a little bit of pro style. So, yeah.
You mentioned some of those veterans. Any other, you know, newcomers or anybody else standing out?
Yeah, I definitely think, you know, Steve, he has some ability. I think he's just still learning what we do here and how we do things here. That would be the biggest thing that I got to say. It's just, you know, learning what we're doing, but then also learning how we do things and the standard that we have with, you know, just execution. But definitely got all the ability in the world. So, yeah.
You've seen at different times what Tony can do. I guess he was hurt most of last year. What does he bring to that group? Yeah,
definitely just the brute. I mean, you know, just the heavy hands, you know, huge hands, long arm, just the brute. Just of the group, you know, it's not a tackle that I've seen in this league that I feel like if you was to line them up in a one-on-one drill, like, you know, just boom, this is the block you get, you got to hit the block, get off. I put Tony up, like you up, like, you know, so that's what I appreciate. You know, I don't feel like it's ever going to be a time we run into this season where I fear Tony getting knocked off the ball. You know what I'm saying? Well, I fear him not being able to get separation and make a play. So that's what I appreciate. That's what he brings to the group. It's just that, you know, when it's time, when it's nut gutting time, and it's, you know, it's like boom, smash mouth ball. Come on, bro. This your wheelhouse. This is your world. So that's definitely something that I'm glad he's back with us and he healthy, and it's been that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, he probably one of the strongest in the group. So yeah.
The way last year went, do you as a group talk about that? Or do you kind of flush it and move past it?
No, I think we have a saying. You know, I feel like last year was a big thing. I feel like we had ability, what we lacked was dependability, and now we say that all the time. It's always going to be dependability over ability. Like, you can be the most talented guy in the world, but if I can't depend on you, then it don't matter. I'm not going to put the group in that position, but I'm also not going to put the team in that position, knowing, okay, this guy can make a play, but he also can mess us up by being out of his gap or something like that. So we say that all the time. You know, it's all over handouts, whatever, dependability over ability, because, you know, it's just, again, it sucks, but if you can't be counted on, then that's what's going to end up losing you ball games. You know, oh, you're supposed to be in this gap, you out of this gap, touchdown. You know, little stuff like that. Now, granted, I would love both. You know, you love both, and that's what we're trying to work, and that's what we're trying to get to. But, I mean, I just feel like, you know, you got to understand that up front. Like, that's just what it's going to be. That's the standard. Like, no matter how much ability you got for the guys in there, you know, if you can't be counted on, depended on to be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be, then it don't matter. I'll go with somebody that I trust, because at least I know whether they're going to make a play or not. At least I know that, you know, when we come back Sunday, I won't have that gut-wrenching feeling of, because this guy was in it and I knew he wasn't dependable or couldn't be trusted, we end up, you know, it ended up costing us a touchdown or a ball. We stay up way too late for that. We in that building too long for that, for me to carry that burden of knowing I had somebody in there that I really didn't trust.